Greetings everyone. Before starting this demo session, BW 7.4 on SAP HANA, the complete BW 7.4 course on SAP HANA, let me introduce myself. My name is Ilyas. I did master's degree in computer applications. This is a brief profile. So I have total 3 years of experience in Java. Then from 2000, I'm working in SAP. In SAP, I started my career as a ABAPer in SD, MM, FI modules. In 2003, I switched to SAP BW. In BW, I worked with 2.x versions, 3.x versions, and 7.x versions. My current project, BW 7.4 with SAP HANA. In SAP BW, my experience includes as a techno-functional consultant. So technical side, my expertise is ABAP, and functional side, SAP CRM marketing, sales and service, and sales and distribution, material management, and FI, designing the data flows, so complete data modeling. So as of now, I am working as an architect, as a freelancer. When SAP acquired the business objects in 2008, from 2008 onwards, I am working as a BW BW consultant. Again in BW, I have total 6 years of experience in SAP BOBA along with SAP BW as one of the source. So I worked in XI 2.x versions, 3.0, XI 3.1, and my current project with BOBA 4.1. Apart from BOBA, I do have a lot of experience in BODS, which is an EAM tool. So we were using BODS as an ETL tool to load the non-SAP data from different source system to SAP BW, and I'm a backend specialist with SAP BOPC with BW. The reason is, in SAP BOPC, in NetWeaver version, the backend is SAP BW, which is a EPM tool of SAP. So in SAP BOBJ, in BA, my specialization, okay, designing the universes on top of SAP HANA, okay, creating the designing the BACS connection on top of SAP BW, report development using Webby, crystal reports for enterprise, dashboard design, business object explorer, business object design studio for BA mobile. Well, since last 2 years, I'm working with SAP BW and with SAP BOBA as one of the source for SAP HANA. I have total 2 years of experience with SAP HANA. So in support pack 2, support pack 3, support pack 4, support pack 6, okay, and my current project in support pack 7. My client recently upgraded from support pack 6 to support pack 7. So before that, I completed two POC projects, currently working in SAP HANA projects with BOBA as well as BW. So my experience with SAP HANA includes Hadoop also, extracting the data from Hadoop to load the data to SAP HANA for reporting purpose. Hadoop is one of the big data solution, loading the data from distributed file system. Well, in SAP HANA, my specialization includes BODS with SAP HANA, SLT with SAP HANA, okay, basically data provisioning using ETL based approach, reporting, BW 7.3, 7.4 with SAP HANA and all. So these are my functional experience in finance and accounting, controlling SD, MM, and these are my certifications. So I have a lot of, these are my SAP modules and number of experience, ABAP 8 years, BW total 10 years, again BW 7.3, 7.4 with SAP HANA 2 years. These are my different certifications. I am certified in SAP HANA, SAP BW, SAP BO. Well, today's our class agenda is, first I will walk through the course roadmap. So what is the course content? Okay, what are the contents we'll be covering as a part of SAP BW 7.4 with SAP HANA? Then I will quickly go through the product overview. First, we will start with course content. So these are our course highlights. All the new features of BW 7.3, 7.4, including BW 7. HANA 1.0 with support pack 6 and support pack 7. So complete BW 7.4 running on HANA with BOBA integration, BODS integration, BW 7.4 on HANA all the concepts, exercise and case studies based on real-time project implementations, student to work on after completing 60 to 70% of our modeling classes, the student has to work on the mini project. Then we will give the real-time projects as well, implemented real-time projects. Well, in this course, we will be covering complete BW 7.4 with SAP HANA as an underlying database. Well, if BW 7.4 is running on traditional database, we can start directly learning BW. But in case of BW 7.4 running on SAP HANA, if you are not a HANA consultant, if you are not from HANA background, then we have to start learning SAP HANA first. So in this course, because we are learning complete BW 7.4 as HANA as an underlying database layer, so we are going to start first HANA concepts. So what is SAP HANA? What is in-memory strategy, in-memory computing, evaluation of SAP HANA, HANA landscape, all these comes under basics. So SAP HANA and business strategy, okay, how SAP BW is powered by SAP HANA, okay, HANA compared to BWA. Then we will start learning HANA architecture, in-memory computing, row store, column store, persistence layer, architectural concept, HANA based real-time operational analytics and all. So after completing the HANA architecture in various perspectives, like HANA architecture in modeling perspective, IMCE perspective, reporting perspective, HANA architecture with the HANA architecture as an underlying database to BW 7.4 perspective. Once we learn HANA architecture in all the perspectives, we will move on to SAP HANA modeling, because when BW is running on top of SAP HANA, so whatever the information models we are creating in SAP HANA, if a client is using HANA as a data mod, we can consume those information models like analytical views, calculation views, attribute views by creating composite providers and transit providers in BW 7.4. For that reason, as a consultant working BW 7.4 with SAP HANA, you need to have complete understanding of HANA modeling. HANA modeling in the sense, what is the concept of information models in SAP HANA, like what are attribute views, analytical views. So purpose of information modeler, levels of modeling in SAP HANA, attribute views, analytical views, calculation views, export and import. Then consuming HANA information models in SAP BW by creating transit providers, composite providers, okay, DB Connect. So once we completed HANA concepts, the basics of SAP HANA, the HANA architecture, HANA modeling and all, then we will start SAP BW. Again in SAP BW, complete BW will learn in detail, including modeling concepts, modeling BW 7.4 running on SAP HANA. Second one is ETL, extracting the data from different source systems, manipulating the data, massaging the data, okay, before loading the data to SAP BW. Then reporting using BEX, Business Explorer. At the same time, in this course, we'll be covering BW 7.4 running on top of SAP HANA, integration to SAP BOBA 4.2, integration to BODS 4.2. So, but here we'll cover BEX and we'll show you complete integration part of SAP BOBA 4.2. So integration in the sense how we will create the BSS connections on top of BW 7.4, then how we will use those business intelligence consumer services connection to for web development, for crystal report development, for dashboard report development, for other report development using SAP BOBA 4.2 tools. Moving on to modeling, so we'll learn all the modeling concepts of SAP BW 7.4 running on SAP HANA, starting from info objects. Okay, the multi-dimensional model in SAP BW 7.4. If BW 7.4 is running on HANA, how the objects architecture will differ, like HANA optimized info cubes, HANA optimized DSO'S, HANA optimized, okay, partition objects and all. So complete new data source concept of BW 7.4, transformations in BW 7.4, writing complex routines, start routines, end routines, transformation route routines, DTP, troubleshooting in DTP, okay, debugging ABAP routines in DTP, business content, okay, upgrading the data flows using migration tool given by SAP from BW 7.3 onwards, then administration of info cubes, aggregates, DSO'S, HANA optimized DSO'S, virtual cubes and multi-providers, and composite providers and transit providers. Then in extractions, we'll cover all ECC extractions, extracting the data from ECC, extracting the data from different applications of SAP ECC like financial applications, logistics applications, HRMS, using generic extractions, business content extractions, COPA extractions, Yellow Cockpit extractions for logistics, financial special purpose ledger extractions, some CRM extractions as well, including APDs. In reporting, we'll cover complete BEX reporting suite, including BEX Query Designer, Report Designer, BEX Analyzer, characteristics, key figures, exceptions and conditions. So all the new, and transportation also using TCO tool, the complete new enhancements of BW 7.3 and 7.4 when comparing with BW 7.0. So once we completed the modeling part, then the students has to work on 5 complex data flows. That is a part of mini project. So you can see the modules in detail: modeling multidimensional model. Okay, how InfoCube is extended star schema when BW is running on traditional database. How InfoCube is a flat structure when BW running on HANA database. Info objects, InfoCubes, data flows, designing the data flows. We'll start from 3.x data flows, overview of BW 7.4 data flows, comparison of 3.x to 7.x data flows, loading the master data, transaction data. First we'll start from flat files, then complete building the new data flows using new data source concept, transformations, in-depth coverage of transformations, routines, start routine, end routine, export routine, then DTPs, overview of the DTPs, troubleshooting techniques in DTPs, debugging the ABAP routines using DTPs, upgrading the data flows from 3.x to BA 7.4, business content, so administration of info cubes, aggregates. Then we'll see with detail of ECC extractions, generic extraction using the database table view, calculation, classical info set, functional module, so business content extractions, COPA extractions, Yellow Cockpit extractions, CRM extractions. So these are the complete detail module by module, the reporting content, and at last we'll give so many implemented project. Okay, first mini project as a part of the course, and once we completed the course, order fill rate project, complete technical description, complete routines, COPA project, material movement project, procurement data flow project. So you guys can use these, you can work on this project and you can show your experience on these projects. Okay, let's move on to a brief product overview. BW 7.4 with SAP HANA. Well, what is a data warehousing application? So why an enterprise needs a data warehousing application? A company, an organization is debating the need to implement a business intelligence and a data warehousing solution. As a part of decision process, you want to clearly understand how your company would benefit from using the business intelligence. Okay, this is enterprise. In this enterprise, there are different ERP systems, different transactional system, other source systems where the business data resides, like flat file, any other source, transactional systems like Java application, .NET application, or ERP applications like SAP ERPs, non-SAP ERPs like PeopleSoft, JD Edwards, Siebel CRM. See, the business users who are responsible for decision making. So these business users require reports and analysis. So in any business, the business users who are responsible for decision making requires reports and analysis. Whenever the business users require reports and analysis for the decision making, the enterprise data is spread across different geographical locations. Well, the company headquarters in Chicago. They have branches in Canada, in Asia, in India, in Asia Pacific. Some ABCINC. It's a manufacturing company, a retail company, a financial institute, some business, some enterprise. As the data spread across different geographical locations, they don't have single point of access to their entire enterprise data, but the business users who are sitting in headquarters, the business users who are responsible in the branches for decision making, they need reports and analysis on top of the enterprise data, okay, on top of the historical data for forecasting, for budgeting, for planning. So unless until if you don't have a decision making system, a business intelligence system, the decision makers cannot take the decisions properly. Well, in order to generate the reports and the analysis which are required for business users, we require a data warehousing application. So what is exactly this data warehousing application? In this data warehousing application, we'll extract the data from different source systems. We'll store the historical data in this data warehousing system. Then we'll start reporting on top of this historical data. So the business users of this company once we generated the reports and analysis on top of this data warehousing application, the historical data of this data warehousing application, we can generate the reports, we can generate the analysis, and these reports can be broadcasted to the business users which are required for the decision making. So in any data warehousing project, my friends, we have three stages. First one is before extracting the data, modeling this data warehousing application. Modeling in the sense of designing, where exactly we want to keep the historical data for the reporting purpose, like designing the data marts, designing the info cubes, designing the DSO'S. Once we design our objects, then we'll extract the data from source system, and before loading the data to our target object, we'll perform the massaging, the cleansing, okay, the consolidation. Basically, we'll apply the business rules before loading the data to our data warehousing application. That comes under ETL part. ETL stands for extraction, extract, transform, and load. Extract the data from the source, transform the data, massage the data, cleanse the data, the way how we require the data for reporting purpose before loading the data to your data warehousing application. Like Informatica, data stage, business object data services, all these are the different ETL tools. So in any ETL tool provides an option of connecting to a source and to connecting to the target, and all flexibilities of massaging the data, cleansing the data, basically applying our business rules. Once the data is arrived to our data warehousing application, after undergoing this ETL process, the reporting, we can use our, use the reporting tools like Cognos, business objects, or MicroStrategy to design the reports, to design the analysis which are required for the business users, so that we can broadcast these analysis and reports to the business user which are required for the decision making. So in any data warehousing project, so we have modeling, ETL, reporting. Three stages in a data warehousing project. So OLTP. OLTP stands for Online Transactional Processing System. Any transaction system. Any transactional system where the day-to-day business transactions will happen. That can be a ERP system, a Java application, .NET application, a Power Builder application, any type of application. If the data resides in a flat file, whatever the source where the business data resides. So we'll extract the data and after homogenization, after cleansing, that is nothing but after applying our business rules, we'll load the data to our data warehousing application after designing our modeling objects. So after modeling, we'll do the ETL. Once the data is arrived, then we'll start reporting using reporting tools. So these reports are very important for business users for the decision making. So this process is basically a business intelligence process. So whenever a client is implementing a BI system, they have two options. First option is the client can build a OLAP application. So what exactly a OLAP application? OLAP stands for Relational Online Analytical Processing. For example, the client can purchase a RDBMS like Oracle, SQL Server, or Teradata. We can design our star schemas, extended snowflake schemas, or we can design our data marts. Then we can use an ETL tool like Informatica, Data Stage, or Business Object Data Services to load the data to our data marts, our star schemas, our snowflake schemas as per our multi-dimensional reporting requirements, as per our complex reporting requirements. Then we can start reporting using SAP POB. We can use any reporting tools like Cognos, Business Objects, BOBI. Okay, MicroStrategy. Well, the drawbacks of these OLAP applications are to implement the OLAP application, it will take long time, and most of the process in OLAP application are manual and laborious process. The reason is everything, our complete OLAP application, online analytical processing, that is business intelligence application, we are building using a database. We don't have a proper user interface, so we have to create the tables. Okay, we have to use other third-party modeling tools, third-party ETL tools, and we don't have a proper user interface to connect to our application. Everything we have to use, we have to connect to the database directly, then for reporting. So it's going to take a long time to implement this OLAP application, and testing also very big phase. Before start deploying this application into the production environment, we have to test thoroughly. In mid-90s, from mid-90s, there are some companies who, the vendors like SAP, Oracle, they introduced Hyperion, they introduced some MOLAP application. What is MOLAP application? MOLAP application stands for Multi-Dimensional Online Analytical Processing. In the sense, in MOLAP application, we have an application layer. Now we have a database layer. We have a database layer. In SAP, there is a MOLAP application called SAP BW, SAP Business Information Warehouse. So the complete application is designed in ABAP, that is also known as ABAP Stack. And we can use any traditional database as a database layer to SAP BW, like Oracle, SQL Server, IBM DB2. But when SAP released SAP HANA, HANA 1.0 support pack 3 onwards, we can use HANA also as a database layer to BW 7.3, but we need minimum support pack 5. The advantage of using SAP HANA as a database layer to BW 7.3 with support pack 5 or BW 7.4, HANA accelerates the BW performance. Okay, when BW 7.3 is running on HANA as a database layer, so the complete HANA will accelerate the BW performance in both the perspective, in ETL perspective as well as in reporting perspective. So up to HANA 1.0 with support pack 2, we can use HANA only as a data mart. But from support pack 3, we can use HANA as the underlying database to BW 7.3, but we need minimum support pack 5. And now we are teaching in this course BW 7.4. So before that, with SAP BW, so we have SAP BW running on traditional database, and we need a BW accelerator. So what is the concept of BWA, Business Information Warehouse Accelerator? It's also a appliance, in-memory appliance released by SAP in 2006 along with BW 7.0. So we need to purchase this appliance separately from HP and IBM. We have to configure this appliance again with SAP BW. So the client has to invest the money on BWA and traditional database. So in fact, the BWA will improves only BW query performance. But when once we have upgraded RDBMS, traditional RDBMS to SAP HANA, so we don't require BW anymore. We don't require traditional database. It's like 2 in 1. It's like 2 in 1. So the client can reduce their total cost of ownership and better performance. Because how BW 7.3 powered by SAP HANA or BW 7.4 powered by SAP HANA, when BW 7.4 running on top of SAP HANA, we have HANA optimized info cubes, HANA optimized DSO'S, the complete architecture of objects are different, and it accelerates the ETL performance. At the same time, HANA is in-memory database, and the data will be stored in column-based approach, and it accelerates query performance also. So before HANA, this is SAP BW running on traditional database, we required BW. Once we migrated RDBMS, traditional RDBMS to SAP HANA, we don't require BW anymore, we don't require traditional RDBMS anymore. So the client can reduce the total cost of ownership, and instead of traditional database and BW, we can have only one HANA. Now, what is the advantage of using SAP HANA as an underlying database to BW 7.4? First one, it's one of the added value. It will accelerate the performance. How it will accelerate the performance? In both the perspectives, in ETL perspective as well as in reporting perspective. Excellent query performance as proven with BWA, accelerated in-memory planning capabilities, performance boost for ETL process as well. Now in BW, when BW 7.4 running on top of SAP HANA, we don't have BWA, okay, and we don't need any traditional database anymore. So simplified administration and infrastructure. Database and BWA merging into one instance to lower the TCO. Before, the client was investing on traditional database and BW accelerator. Now we don't need two traditional databases, traditional database and BW anymore. We need only SAP HANA. Once it's migrated, traditional database is migrated to SAP HANA. Simplified administration via one set of admin tools, example data discovery and high availability. In SAP HANA, the data is stored in the form of column-based tables. Okay, so in SAP HANA, the data is stored in the form of column-based approach. As long as we are storing the data in column-based storage, the data is highly compressible, and the data is highly optimized for the read operations. Means the data is highly optimized for reporting purpose. Now, due to the architectural difference of objects like standard info cube, HANA optimized info cube, standard DSO, HANA optimized DSOs, the ETL performance boost up, and at the same time, because in SAP HANA we are storing the data in form of column-based approach. Okay, as long as we are storing the data in column-based approach, it's highly optimized for the read operations. Okay, and the data is highly compressible. So HANA will accelerate the BW performance in both the perspective, in reporting perspective as well as in ETL perspective. Whereas the BW will accelerate the BW performance in only reporting perspective by storing BW info cubes in memory. No special efforts to guarantee the fast reporting for DB object. So simplify data modeling and reduce materialized layers, integrated and embedded BW systems. So this is the scenario when BW is running on traditional database. So we need BW accelerated. Once we upgraded BW from traditional database to SAP HANA database, so standard DSO'S, okay, database server and SAP NetWeaver BW here. Here we have standard info cubes, BW integrated planning, HANA data marts running side by side. Whereas in SAP NetWeaver BW 7.3 running on SAP HANA, we have HANA optimized DSO'S, HANA optimized in-memory platform, SAP HANA optimized info cubes, in-memory planning engine, consumption of HANA information models, okay, in BW by creating composite provider, transit providers. Even we can import the BW models in SAP HANA using SAP HANA Studio. So there are so many advantages. That is the reason there are so many clients who are using SAP BW and traditional database along with BWA. Now they are moving to, they are upgrading the database to SAP HANA. So whenever a client is using SAP HANA as a database layer, then as a BW consultant, you supposed to know all the concepts of complete BW 7.4 on top of SAP HANA, including complete how the architecture of objects differ, HANA optimized DSO'S, HANA optimized cubes, and how to extract the data, how to design the data flows. Everything, okay, we are going to cover in this course, which will help you, which will help a consultant to work in a upgradation project, because here we are covering complete upgradation, how a client will upgrade BW 7.3 with support pack 4 or BW 7.4 running on a traditional database to SAP HANA. Then we are covering complete BW 7.4 course along with SAP HANA. So if a client is using BW 7.4 but underlying database as SAP HANA, then you can work on those projects also in those type of project, but in production support, in new implementations, in upgradation, in stabilization projects. So here we are covering not only SAP HANA and the complete BW 7.4 with SAP HANA. So first we'll learn SAP HANA concepts like HANA architecture, HANA modeling, okay, other concepts of HANA. Then we'll start learning complete BW 7.4 SAP HANA. So whenever BW 7.4 running on HANA, okay, what are the difference of standard info cube? What are how, okay, BW 7.4 running on HANA differs with BW 7.4 running on traditional database. So we'll be covering all the differences, okay, and how the normal concept when BW 7.4 running on traditional database. So how the concept in BW 7.4 running on HANA. So with comparison we'll cover so that you can work in upgradation project also. So this course will help the attendees, okay, for target the audience to work in any BW 7.4 running on traditional database, upgrading to BW 7.4 on HANA database. If a client is implementing new BW implementation, 7.4 implementation or 7.3 with support pack 5 implementation, but HANA as underlying database. Now, if a client is looking for BW 7.4 consultant with SAP HANA for their production support jobs in a production support environment, or if they want to stabilize their project, so okay, that audience after completing the course, so the attendees can work in any one of these projects. Coming to the prerequisites of this course, if you look at our course content, first we are starting with SAP HANA, then we'll moving on to SAP BW. So only the prerequisite required to learn this course, the prerequisite of this course are basics of RDBMS, like what is table, what is primary key, what is foreign key, what are the cardinalities, basic concept of joins, then basics of SQL, structured query language, not up to external level. Okay, how to write the queries, how to understand the SQL queries, that's it. If you, these are the basic prerequisites, I guess, okay, the attendees who wants to learn this course will have the minimum these. Even if a attendee is complete new to IT, we'll be providing the complete basics of RDBMS, basics of SQL, basics of data warehousing concept before starting this course. Thank you very much. Happy learning.